Members, a quorum is present. We ask our guests and visitors in the rear of the chamber and in the gallery to please stand for the daily prayer. Reverend Patty Oshta will offer today's prayer. Reverend Oshta.
Please join me in a moment of reflection. Early in our marriage, when we had moments of discord, we found that rather than talking it out, writing was helpful in recovering harmony. We even began suggesting this technique to couples in our premarital meetings. We explained that too often, when one of us was trying to verbally explain their point of view, the other was not prepared to listen. Too often, we were unable to hear each other because our minds were busy preparing our rebuttal, eager to justify our positions. This cycle of talking without being heard never concluded well. Writing to each other helped us to clarify and share our thoughts clearly. In writing, we found that there was no need to be right or to prove the other person wrong. We were just sharing our points of view. We were able to hear each other when we lowered our voices completely and just shared our thoughts. Now, after 40 years, my only complaint is that, although I feel we have honed the art of listening, it is frustrating when I share my thoughts, only to find that Bob isn't wearing his hearing aids. Now, as better listeners, although we still do not always agree, just being open to hearing each other's perspectives and opinions has helped us to avoid cycles of disagreement that we know are rarely productive. Namwami Devatsu. Let us listen with kindness and gratitude beyond words.
We ask our guests and visitors to remain standing to join us in the flag salute. Leader Gallagher will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you, members. Please join me in saluting our great flag. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. To our guests and visitors today, state law prohibits persons in the gallery from interfering with legislative proceedings or disrupting the orderly conduct of official business. Persons disrupting legislative proceedings are subject to removal, arrest, or other appropriate legal remedies. Reading of the previous day's journal.
Assembly Chamber, Sacramento, Friday, May 23rd, 2025. The Assembly met at 9 a.m. The Honorable John Slowenthal, Speaker Pro Tempore of the Assembly presiding. Chief Clerk Sue Parker at the desk. Reading Clerk David A. Bowman reading. Roll call.
Assistant Majority Leader Garcia moves and Mr. Flores seconds that the reading of the previous day's journal be dispensed with. Presentations and petitions, there are none. Introduction and reference of bills will be deferred. Reports of committees will be deemed read and amendments deemed adopted. Messages from the governor, there are none. Messages from the Senate, there are none. Moving to motions and resolutions, the absences for the day, there are none. Assistant Majority Leader Garcia, you are recognized for your procedural motions.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I request unanimous consent to suspend Assembly Rule 45.5 to allow Assembly members Bauer-Cahan and Calderon to speak on adjournment in memory today.
Without objection, such shall be the order.
I request unanimous consent to suspend Assembly Rule 118A to allow Assembly member Bauer-Cahan to have guests on the floor today.
Without objection, such shall be the order. Assemblymember Gallagher, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move to suspend the rules to withdraw AB 12, which would rescind the LCFS gas tax from the Natural Resources Committee and take it up immediately without reference to file.
Thank you, Leader Gallagher. Okay, your motion requires a second. Is there a second? Seconded by Assemblymember DeMaio. Members, the motion before us is to suspend the constitutional 3 readings of Assembly Bill, Mr. Gallagher, the Assembly Bill again?
Assembly Bill 12, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Members, the motion before us to suspend the constitutional 3 readings of Assembly Bill 12 and to suspend the rules take up this bill without reference to file. This requires 54 votes. This is not debatable. Clerk will open the roll. Majority Leader is asking for a no vote. Leader Gallagher is asking for an aye vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll and tally the votes. Ayes 18, noes 39. Motion to suspend the Constitution fails. Okay, we have a guest introduction that we're going to have to come back to, so we're going to go straight into business on the daily file. Second reading, file item 1, clerk will read.
Assembly Concurrent Resolution 91 with amendments.
All bills will be deemed read and amendments will be deemed adopted. For reconsideration, file item 2, this item shall be continued. We are on to the Assembly third reading. Today we shall be going in order with one lone exception when I will be presenting, and I'll be going down to the floor. We're going to begin with file item number 14, that is AB 847 by Assemblymember Sharp Collins. Clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 847 by Assemblymember Sharp Collins, an act relating to peace officers.
Assemblymember Sharp Collins, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. I rise to present Assembly Bill 847. This bill clarifies existing law that law enforcement oversight commissions, which are already given subpoena power, can in fact review police personnel records to determine if law enforcement behave appropriately and where discipline is actually required. If it was, I cannot talk today. If it was actually a true violation. My office received reports from the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Oversight Commission, in fact, the actual chair of the commission, who was one of our sponsors. And while that law enforcement would appear before the actual commission, they refused to speak about incidents, claiming that any details were in their personnel file and thus shielded. We are unaware of these things happening elsewhere, which clearly means that clarification was needed to avoid any confusion on the role of the commissions going forward. My bill also adds an additional layer of protection by improving the commissions for closed sessions to further protect the confidentiality of any records. We have spoken with the LA Commission, the ACLU, and numerous law enforcement organizations in drafting this bill, and we worked hard to not expand the power of these commissions, but to make sure that law was clear in giving them the ability to do their job. And in fact, the recent floor amends were shared with each of our offices and also brought a number of our law enforcement groups off of the bill. So I do look forward to continuing to ensure that our commissions have the tools to do their job, to do their job that voters have actually taxed them to do, and I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Sharp Collins. Assemblymember DeMaio, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise in support of AB 847. I want to commend the author for her leadership on this issue. We are in an environment where the public has, in many regards, lost trust and confidence in law enforcement, not because that trust and confidence should be lost, but because a number of untrue allegations, smears, have been made against our law enforcement personnel. Without getting too far into that debate, one good mechanism for restoring public trust and confidence, having transparency and accountability, are these citizen oversight commissions. However, these commissions need access to records to do their investigations. The California Public Records Act has not allowed full disclosure of personnel records of law enforcement personnel. And notwithstanding some of the concerns offered by labor unions representing law enforcement, I would urge them to reconsider some of their default opposition to transparency. If there's nothing to hide, transparency will only improve public trust and confidence. A good officer's record will remain good when reviewed by these commissions. But while still supporting the bill and encouraging my colleagues to support the bill, I would encourage the author of this bill to consider companion legislation at some point that would require better standards of training for staff of these commissions. We have a problem with these commissions when they don't understand law enforcement. They don't understand use of force requirements. They don't understand what other states require. And so they go in with the staff go in assuming that law enforcement did something wrong. They tell commissioners law enforcement might have done something wrong, but the staff of these commissions are not properly trained. Perhaps actually having a statewide staffing resource, investigation resource for these commissions to turn to, a good housekeeping mechanism perhaps, would also improve the function of these commissions. So I rise in support of this bill. I have no concern with the transparency that it would bring, but if we're actually going to make these commissions effective, they need to be guided by properly trained staff so they can come to the proper conclusions based upon law and based upon state of practice. I, again, respectfully ask for an aye vote on AB 847.
Thank you, Assemblymember DeMaio. Seeing and hearing no further debate, Assemblymember Sharp-Collins, do you wish to close?
Thank you. This is a common sense bill, and thank you so much to my colleague also from San Diego. But this is a common sense bill that responds to a clear problem without expanding any existing law. This bill merely clarifies the commissions having the tool to do the job that they were tasked to do. And once again, thank you so much, and I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Sharp-Collins. All debate having ceased, clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes. Ayes 41, noes 13. Measure passes. We're going to pass and retain file items 15 through 20. Brings us to file item 21, AB 593 by Assemblymember Wicks. Clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 593 by Assemblymember Wicks and accolating to CalFresh.
Assemblymember Wicks, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, AB 593 clarifies limited and necessary exemptions from the data sharing restrictions for the purpose of improving CalFresh program. This legislation has received unanimous bipartisan aye votes thus far and has the support of both caucuses. Respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Wicks. All debate having ceased, clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes. Ayes 59, noes 0. Measure passes. Pass and retain on file items 22, 23. Brings us to file item 24, AB 893 by Assemblymember Fong. Clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 893 by Assemblymember Fong and others and accolating to housing.
Assemblymember Fong, you are recognized.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair and members. Assembly Bill 893 expands a streamlined ministerial approval process for mixed-income developments on commercially zoned properties near campuses and universities. It also creates eligibility for affordable units that use this process for students, faculty, and staff. An unacceptable number of students are homeless. Housing and security among our students reduces the power and promise of higher education to transform lives and produce productive members of our communities. We must do more to address this crisis. AB 893 builds upon existing law to encourage housing in commercially zoned parcels near our college campuses that already serve as economic centers in our communities. I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Fong. All debate having ceased, clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes. Ayes 56, noes 4. The measure passes. Pass and retain on file items 25, 26. Brings us to file item number 27, ACR 73, by Assemblymember Stephanie. Clerk will read.
Assembly Concurrent Resolution 73 by Assemblymember Stephanie relative to Italian American Heritage Month.
Assemblymember Stephanie, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, I rise today to present ACR 73, which proclaims October as Italian American Heritage Month in California. As a proud Italian American, I'm honored to recognize the profound contributions our community has made to this state. It's especially meaningful today to bring this resolution forward on June 2nd, which marks Italian Independence Day, also known as Festa della Repubblica, a day when Italians around the world celebrate their democracy, culture, and national pride. California is home to nearly 1.5 million people of Italian descent, one of the largest Italian American populations in the country. Italian immigrants helped build this state, working the fields, fishing the coast, and shaping industries from agriculture to construction. They founded businesses, opened banks, and brought traditions that still enrich California's culture today. In San Francisco, they helped rebuild the city after the 1906 earthquake. They created landmarks, launched institutions like the San Francisco Opera and the Bank of Italy, which is the Bank of America today, and shaped North Beach into a beacon of Italian American life. They helped build the Port of Los Angeles, shaped the fishing industry in Monterey, and were among the first to cultivate grapes in the Central Valley. Italian Americans have contributed to every corner of public life: arts, education, labor, science, and public service. Their values, family, hard work, and community, reflect the best of California. I'm also proud to share that this year marks the creation of the Italian Caucus of California, a new caucus co-founded by myself and Senator Dave Cortese. It's a space to uplift our shared heritage, strengthen ties with Italy, and ensure Italian-American voices continue to be heard in the Capitol. ACR 73 is not just about honoring the past, it's about celebrating a living legacy and building a future rooted in pride, service, and cultural connection. I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Stephanie. All debate having ceased. Oh, Assemblymember Stephanie, do you wish the first roll to be open for co-authors?
Si, prego.
Okay. Clerk will open the roll for co-authors. All members vote who desire to vote. Members, this is for co-authors. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes. There are 65 co-authors added. Without objection, we'll now take a voice vote on the resolution. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The resolution is adopted. Members, in celebration of Italian Independence Day and in honor of ACR 73 designating October 25th as Italian American Heritage Month, a box of Baci chocolates from Italy has been placed on each member's desk, courtesy of Assemblymember Stephanie. Members, we're going to pass and retain on file items 28, 29, and 30. That is going to bring us to file item 31. AB 1 by Assemblymember Connolly. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 1 by Assemblymember Connolly and others, and act relating to insurance.
Assemblymember Connolly, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. I'm proud to present AB number 1, a bill that would require the California Department of Insurance to review and consider updates to the Safer from Wildfire regulations every 5 years, starting on January 1, 2030. The Safer from Wildfires program is the only avenue open to consumers to receive direct discounts for hardening their homes and neighborhoods. This bill will make the program better for consumers and incentivize communities and neighborhoods to prepare their homes in case of disaster. The bill has no opposition. Thank you, and I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Connolly. Assemblymember DeMaio, you are recognized.
Thank you. I rise in support of AB 1, but I am very frustrated by the author delaying implementation until 2030. We have an insurance crisis on our hands, and every bit of relief is needed for these homeowners. I'm hearing from homeowners who are telling me that their insurance rates are spiking so much that they are afraid that they will be forced out of their homes because they can't afford their insurance premium anymore. And so I understand that we need to give the bureaucracy time to come up with standards, but December 31st, 2029 is a long way off for these homeowners. And when you look at the bills, again, and I'm supportive of this bill, but it just simply does not go far enough. We have an insurance affordability crisis on our hands. It's perhaps one of the biggest cost drivers, and there are a lot of cost drivers right now, and that's why our caucus is trying to get this chamber to fulfill the Speaker's promise from months ago that we were going to deal with the cost of living crisis in Sacramento. And here we are 6 months later. This is the end of the process, at least the first round of the process for House of Origin. And this is the best we're doing on insurance reform, is saying, hey, we're going to punt till 2030. Again, I'll support the bill today because at least we will get something by 2030, maybe, possibly. But let's do better. We have to do better than this, and I think in the coming days, you'll have an opportunity to vote on some common sense insurance reform, and I hope we'll see support from the other side.
Thank you, Assemblymember DeMaio. Seeing and hearing no further debate, Assemblymember Connolly, do you wish to close?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I appreciate my colleague's support. I had not heard that up until this moment on the floor. And given that the original wording of the bill was to commence in 2026, it would have been great to hear that earlier. That having been said, we are here where we are now due to a negotiation and the legislative process that we all go through. The bill still is the best move forward that we currently have on a negotiated basis. And the fact is, it will lock in a protocol to determine what best practices are going forward. If my colleague would like to join me in speeding up the process or otherwise strengthening it, we certainly welcome that as well, and hopefully in a more timely way.
Thank you, Assemblymember Connolly. All debate having ceased, the clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll. Tallied votes, ayes 61, noes 0. Measure passes. That brings us to file item number 32, AB 6 by Assemblymember Ward. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 6 by Assemblymember Ward, an act levying the housing.
Assemblymember Ward, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, I'm pleased to present AB 6 today, which would have HCD begin a process to allow missing middle housing developments between 3 and 10 units in size to be built under the requirements of the California Residential Code rather than the current California Building Code. This is a shift from general commercial to simple residential code for small housing projects, which is a change that's already seeing positive effects across the United States and estimated to reduce construction costs as much as 30% in California. And of course, with development and construction costs at an all-time high, we need to look for efficiencies and cost savings and recognize that better affordability might require more flexibility and innovations right within our building codes. With that, I respectfully request your aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Ward. Assemblymember DeMaio, you are recognized.
I will keep this as brief as possible, but we have a theme here, my friends. I rise in support of AB 6 because, yes, we should get away from California's insane building code. The regulations that we have adopted, imposed on building anything in the state of California has resulted in costs that are completely unaffordable. The same exact architectural plans for a home in Texas costs 1/3 what it would cost here in the state of California because we have an out-of-control permitting and state building code regulatory burden. But the bill that we're supporting today, while good in terms of its intent and outcome, delays until January 1st, 2029. If this is such a good idea, can't we pick up the pace? Again, the author I know is well-intentioned by wanting to get away from the California State Building Code, go to a more streamlined approach. But why are we requiring that Californians wait almost 4 years from today? Again, cost of living is a crisis. We need to develop a sense of urgency that housing prices are way overinflated, that we have to reduce them as soon as possible. So again, as the legislative process winds its way through, I would hope that the author would consider amending the bill and bringing it back with a requirement sooner rather than later.
Thank you, Assemblymember DeMaio. Seeing and hearing no further debate, Assemblymember Ward, do you wish to close?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I appreciate the words from my colleague from San Diego who recognizes that speed and efficiency matter. Respectfully request your aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Ward. Seeing and hearing no further debate, clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes, ayes 61, noes 0. Measure passes. Pass and retain on file items 33 through 35. That brings us to file item number 36. AB 31 by Assemblymember Ramos. Clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 31 by Assemblymember Ramos, enact relating to peace officers.
Assemblymember Ramos, you are recognized.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Today I rise to present AB 31, which would create a 3-year pilot program with the Department of Justice granting tribes peace officer status. This bill is part of a long-standing effort to address the missing and murdered Indigenous persons crisis here in California, where California still ranks number 5 of all states in the nation of not even investigating murders against Indian people. Tribal policing in California carries a dark history, a history that we must begin to shed light on. With the passage of Public Law 280, in 1953, the state essentially washed their hands of policing tribal reservations. Currently today, over 56% of Native Americans in the state of California will suffer some type of traumatic experience. We need to move forward and do better as a state legislature and as a state. I ask for your aye vote in AB 31.
Thank you, Assemblymember Ramos. All debate having ceased, the clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes, ayes 61, noes 0. The measure passes. We're going to pass and retain on file items 37 through 39. Brings us to file item number 40, AB 61 by Assemblymember Pacheco. Clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 61 by Assemblymember Pacheco and others, enact relating to electricity.
Assemblymember Pacheco, you are recognized.
Good morning, Mr. Speaker and members. Today I rise to present Assembly Bill 61. Californians are feeling the squeeze of rising costs, and our utility bills are no exception. For our low-income residents, these increases aren't just numbers. They're real kitchen table decisions about how to make ends meet that month. Occasionally, we pass well-intended energy programs without fully understanding their cost impacts. AB 61 offers a simple solution. Before we vote on new energy mandates, let's make sure that we have the facts. This bill requires the Public Advocate's Office at the Public Utilities Commission to analyze the efficacy, cost impact, and overall effect of each proposed legislative mandate on electric and natural gas companies prior to a vote in policy committees. This bill has received bipartisan support, and I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Pacheco. All debate having ceased, the clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes, ayes 58, noes 0. The measure passes. We're going to pass on file item number 41. We're going to pass and retain on file items number 42 through 45. We're going to pass on file item number 46. We're going to pass and retain on file items 47, 48, 49. Brings us to file item number 50, AB 258 by Assemblymember Connolly. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 258 by Assemblymember Connolly and others, enact relating to fares.
Assemblymember Connolly, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise today to present AB 258, which increases the amount of funding for California's fares network in the governor's annual budget from 0.75% of gross receipts of taxable sales made on fairgrounds to 2%. We know the multifaceted roles our fairgrounds play in our communities. This bill has received overwhelming bipartisan support and has no opposition. I respectfully ask for your aye vote on AB 258.
Thank you, Assemblymember Connolly. All debate having ceased, the clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes. Ayes 57, noes 1. The measure passes. Brings us to file item number 51, AB 268 by Assemblymember Kalra. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 268 by Assemblymember Kalra and others, enacted into Diwali.
Assemblymember Kalra, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. AB 268 adds Diwali as an official state holiday in California and also allows for public schools to elect to close in recognition of Diwali. Diwali is a festival of great significance to many Indian Americans and South Asian Americans and is celebrated annually by Hindus, Sikhs, Buddhists, and Jains of all ethnic backgrounds. State workers are already allowed to use their personal holidays for Diwali and other cultural, religious, and heritage days. By adding Diwali as a state holiday, AB 268 will raise awareness and encourage those to take the time to be with family and friends during festivities throughout the state. Respectfully ask for an aye vote on AB 268.
Thank you, Assemblymember Kalra. Assemblymember Patel, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise today as a proud joint author of AB 268. This is a very important holiday, not just for my family, but for the thousands and thousands of Californians who celebrate this holiday. As my colleague had explained, the bill also reflects a broader truth. California is home to one of the largest, most vibrant South Asian communities in the nation. Hindus, Sikhs, Jains, Buddhists across our state celebrate Diwali each year, and by acknowledging this holiday, we are affirming that our experiences, our faiths, and our contributions matter. And while Diwali comes from a very specific tradition, its message is universal. Good triumphing over evil, light overcoming darkness, and the enduring power of community, resilience, and hope. These are California values. These are human values. Let's ensure that all Californians see themselves reflected in our state's calendar and our culture. There are hundreds of thousands of Hindus here in California, and to ensure that we, alongside everyone else who celebrates Diwali, get recognition that they deserve, I respectfully ask for your aye vote, colleagues, on AB 268. Thank you.
Thank you, Assemblymember Patel. Seeing and hearing no further debate, Assemblymember Kalra, do you wish to close?
Respectfully ask for an aye vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Assemblymember Kalra. All debate having ceased, the clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll and tally the votes. Ayes 59, noes 0. The measure passes. Pass and retain on file item number 52. Brings us to file item 53, AB 288 by Assemblymember McKinner. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 288 by Assemblymember McKinner and others, enacted into employment.
Members around Ms. McKinner, can you please move? Mr. Lee. Assemblymember McKinner, you are recognized.
Hello, there we go. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And members, AB 288 will protect California workers by preserving their fundamental constitutional rights to free speech and free association. All workers have the inalienable rights and rights under the First Amendment to the United States Constitution and the California State Constitution to control the labor that they provide and to freely join with their co-workers to achieve improvements. California law has also codified workers' fundamentally and constitutional protected rights in Section 923 of the Labor Code. Nevertheless, employers continue to use delays in government processes to their advantage by squelching worker organizing efforts and otherwise violating workers' rights with impunity. Corporations have filed multiple lawsuits seeking to invalidate federal labor law or cripple its enforcement. In addition to longstanding underfunding and delays the National Labor Relations Board now lacks a quorum due to the firing of Gwen Wilcox. Even when California workers are successful in unionizing, despite the obstacles they are put in their way, they are often forced to wait for years to have the right to meet their employer at the bargaining table. Such delays in getting remedial relief incentivize employers to refuse to bargain in good faith with workers, choosing collective bargaining representatives, and prevent workers from getting improved negotiated wages and benefits in a timely manner, thereby contributing to increased workplace conflict and economic instability. Colleagues, California cannot and must not sit idly by as California workers are exploited and chilled from exercising their rights. This is unacceptable and frankly un-American. Our state's power is greatest when it's used to protect its people's physical, social, and economic well-being, and we must exercise that right. Sorry about my voice. As the Supreme Court has long recognized, states have a wide field of discretion and regulation to ensure wholesome conditions of work and freedom from oppression. California, therefore, has a right and responsibility to regulate the working condition of workers within its borders, including preserving workers' fundamental and constitutional protected rights to free speech, to free association, and to have a real voice at their workplace. I would like to thank my 40 bipartisan co-authors on this important bill and respectfully ask your aye vote on AB 288.
Thank you, Assemblymember McKinnon. Assemblymember DeMaio, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise in strong opposition to AB 288. I will continue to rise in opposition to any bill that expands the jurisdiction, authority, operations of the Public Employee Relations Board in the state of California, because it is a fundamentally out of control, a fundamentally dishonest, and a completely corrupt institution. In the coming months, we will continue in my office to provide additional information to this body as to how serious this problem is. But you should know that for the concerns raised last week by some of my colleagues on the other side for the out-of-control California Air Resources Board, and I commend my colleagues on the other side for raising concerns about that bureaucracy, PERB absolutely is a whole new level of insanity and corruption. And the impact is felt by taxpayers across the board. Now what we're suggesting with AB 288 is that we empower and expand PERB to get into all sorts of labor disputes that it has no current jurisdiction over. The board is completely dominated by one philosophy: labor union representatives. There are no taxpayer representatives. There are no employer representatives on the board. It is simply a special interest smorgasbord. This is going to come back to bite us. We are going to have a number of employers get smacked by PERB. It will be an out-of-control agency, and your vote will come back to haunt this institution for bad judgment. I urge a no vote on AB 288.
Thank you, Assemblymember DeMaio. Seeing and hearing no further debate, Assemblymember McKinnon, do you wish to close?
Yes, and I respectfully ask for your aye vote on AB 288 for our workers in California. Thank you.
Thank you, Assemblymember McKinnon. All debate having ceased, clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes. Ayes 53, noes 2. The measure passes. Pass and retain on file item 54 and 55. That brings us to file item number 56, AB 325 by our Majority Leader. Clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 325 by Assemblymember Aguiar-Curry and others, and relating to business regulations.
Madam Majority Leader, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. Members, it doesn't matter if price fixing happens as a direct agreement between people or through digital tools. It's wrong either way. Until we dug into this bill, I thought most of California's affordability crisis was due to market forces, but it's not just that. For years, companies have been using illegal price-fixing algorithms that have created market monopolies and have hurt innovation and small businesses. They've used technology to collude on prices on rental housing, groceries like chicken and potatoes, and even employee wages. These tools benefit large corporations and drive up prices for consumers and our small businesses. It's time our laws catch up to the technology so our constituents don't literally pay the price. AB 325 updates California antitrust laws to address the use of modern tools for illegal price fixing. Colleagues, I want to take a moment to thank all of you who engaged with me in the productive committee discussions on the way to clarify our intent and avoid unintended consequences for innocent parties. So I've provided safe harbors for businesses acting in good faith, explicitly exempted end users of a product who aren't part of price fixing, struck the sections related to non-public competitor data that cause confusion, and I've removed joint and several liability so small businesses aren't on the hook. There's nothing wrong with businesses making a fair profit for their products, but there is something wrong with the cheating their competitor businesses and California consumers. California families need us to take immediate steps to address our affordability crisis. So let's restore true free market competition so nobody has an unfair advantage and consumers don't get the short end of the stick. I ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Madam Majority Leader. Assemblymember Harbidian, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I was just going to rise and strongly urge an aye vote on AB 325. I really respect and thank the author for the evolution of this bill since it came through judiciary, and all the concerns that were laid in front of you in our committee and after that were addressed on the definitions, bringing the bill in alignment to the Cartwright Act. This is an important bill with an important intent. Thank you for bringing it. Strongly encourage an aye vote on it.
Thank you, Assemblymember Harbidian. Assemblymember Bauer-Cahan, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. I also rise in support of AB 325. First, I want to reiterate the comments of my colleague from Altadena that I was super concerned about small businesses and them being on the hook for very, very large fines if there was joint and several liability. And so that change is incredibly meaningful for California small businesses. But in addition, I just want to say that we talk a lot in this body about affordability and about how hard it is to live in California. And if we are going to take affordability seriously, I truly believe this is one of the most meaningful things we can do. We can make sure there is competition in the market, that the marketplace is working, it is robust, and that consumers have a choice, which we know will drive costs down to make California more affordable. So with that, I respectfully ask for an aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Bauer-Cahan. Seeing and hearing no further debate, Madam Majority Leader, do you wish to close?
Members, if competition sits across the table and fixes prices, you know that's illegal. And if they're using a computer to do the same thing, it still should be illegal. AB 325 will protect consumers and competitor businesses from cheating, perhaps the quickest way to help with the affordability crisis. This bill will not stifle innovation or efficiency. It modernizes our antitrust laws. It's about creating a fair market where prices are set through competition, not collusion. I want to thank those of you who have spoken in support today, again thank my colleagues who engaged with me in the committee to make this bill better and to protect innocent players. And I'll keep working on this bill to address any concerns. Remember, members, collusion is bad for consumers, first-time home buyers, renters, working-class people, and competitor businesses. In fact, it's bad for everyone except the cheaters. In fact, I am delighted to bring this bill forward, and I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Madam Majority Leader. All debate having ceased, the clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes, ayes 42, noes 15. The measure passes. We're going to pass on file item number 57. Brings us to file item number 58, AB 330 by Assemblymember Rogers. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 330 by Assemblymember Rogers and act relating to communications.
Assemblymember Rogers, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. This bill is a simple extension of a sunset clause for the local prepaid mobile telephony services collection ask, and I ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Rogers. Seeing and hearing no further debate, the clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes. Ayes 43, noes 2. The measure passes. Brings us to file item 59, AB 331 by Assemblymember Pellerin. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 331 by Assemblymember Pellerin and act relating to elections.
Assemblymember Pellerin, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. AB 331 is a bill sponsored by our Attorney General to clarify the Elections Code. These clarifications ensure that eligible voters in county jails receive their voter information guides as required by law, clarify elections officials' duties, and expand penalties for deceptive ballot practices. This bill received unanimous bipartisan support in both elections and public safety, and I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Pellerin. All debate having ceased, the clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes. Ayes 52, noes 1. The measure passes. We're going to pass and retain on file item 60, 61. Brings us to file item 62, AB 343 by Assemblymember Pacheco. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 343 by Assemblymember Pacheco and act relating to public records.
Assemblymember Pacheco, you are recognized.
Good afternoon, Mr. Speaker and members. Today I rise to present AB 343. In recent years, violence against judges has escalated nationwide. Public records have become tools for people with malicious intent to locate the addresses of elected or appointed officials, endangering them and their families. While California prohibits the online posting of an elected or appointed official's home address, telephone number, and parcel number without their permission, gaps remain in terms of who receives protection. AB 343 extends these protections to retired judges, court commissioners, federal defenders, and court-appointed children's counsel. This bill adds safeguards to these essential professions, enhancing their safety during and after their public service. This bill has received bipartisan support, and I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Pacheco. All debate having ceased, the clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes. Ayes 55, noes 0. The measure passes. Pass and retain on file item 65, 66. Brings us to file item 67, AB 359 by Assemblymember Ramos. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 359 by Assemblymember Ramos and act relating to the Political Reform Act of 1974.
Assemblymember Ramos, you are recognized.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker. AB 359 will remove the sunset date from current law that grants the Fair Political Practice Commission the authority to enter into agreements with local governments to administer, implement, and enforce their local campaign finance and ethics laws. Currently, the city of San Bernardino is the only city using such agreements. However, it has been able to immensely benefit from the expertise provided by the FPPC for some time. With this provision set to expire in 2026, it is crucial that we do not allow for a gap in services during an election year. I ask that we allow the FPPC to continue conducting their very important work supporting the city of San Bernardino and cities who wish to enter into an agreement in the future. I ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Ramos. All debate having ceased, the clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes. Ayes 58, noes 0. The measure passes. Members, I mistakenly passed by the second of Ms. Pacheco's bills, so we are going to go backwards to file item 64, AB 352 by Assemblymember Pacheco. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 352 by Assemblymember Pacheco and act relating to crimes.
Assemblymember Pacheco, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, today I rise to present Assembly Bill 352, which addresses the growing problem of threats against our judicial system. Escalating threats and violence against California's judiciary endanger both our court officers and the public access to justice. The numbers tell a troubling story. The U.S. Marshal Service assessed 5,873 threats and inappropriate communications against the judiciary between 2021 and 2022 alone. A 2020 National Judicial College survey found that a majority of judges feared for their safety and desired enhanced protection. AB 352 is a measured response that makes criminal threats against judges and court commissioners an aggravating factor in sentencing. This change enables the courts to impose a maximum 3-year sentence for felony criminal threats when appropriate. AB 352 will enhance protection for judicial officers, deter future threats, and help restore confidence among the people who serve our courts. This bill has also received bipartisan support and respectfully ask you for your aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Pacheco. All debate having ceased, the clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. The clerk will close the roll, tally the votes. Ayes 61, no 0. The measure passes. Getting back to where we were on file order, we're on file item number 68, AB 361. Assemblymember Schultz, the clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 361 by Assemblymember Schultz, enacting to best value procurement.
Assemblymember Schultz, you are recognized.
Good afternoon, Mr. Speaker and members. I am pleased to present AB 361, a good governance bill that removes the existing sunset for the Los Angeles Unified School District's best value procurement method for school construction projects, and in fact expands this as a statewide option for all public school districts. The best value procurement method allows schools to consider factors such as experience, quality, and performance, not just the lowest price, when selecting and awarding public contracts. This method has proven to be a success, and it's imperative that school districts across California have the necessary tools to reduce risk and maximize cost efficiencies. With that, I humbly ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Schultz. All debate having ceased, the clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes. Ayes 52, noes 2. The measure passes. Which brings us to file item number 69, AB 368 by Assemblymember Ward. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 368 by Assemblymember Ward and others, enacting to energy.
Assemblymember Ward, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker and members. I'm pleased to present AB 368, which would direct the CEC to evaluate the use of passive house energy models currently required for passive house certification and analyze the cost effectiveness of passive house construction compared to existing Title 24 construction standards. Superior energy efficient designs like those meeting passive house standards are showing multiple benefits to reduce emissions, improve indoor air quality, lower energy costs, and harden homes against wildfires. For this, the bill has received no votes, and I respectfully request your aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Ward. All debate having ceased, the clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. The clerk will close the roll, tally the votes. Ayes 62, no 0. The measure passes. Brings us to file item 70, AB 372 by Assemblymember Bennett. Clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 372 by Assemblymember Bennett, enacting to emergency services.
Assemblymember Bennett, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, AB 372 would provide funding for wildfire defense and protection in high fire risk and very high fire risk severity zones by establishing a rural small community fire resilience program within Cal OES. This program, AB 372, provides support to communities most at risk during fires and assures their ability to continue providing services to their community. The bill has no opposition and has received unanimous bipartisan support.
Thank you, Assemblymember Bennett. All debate having ceased, the clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. The clerk will close the roll, tally the votes. Ayes 63, no 0. The measure passes. We're going to pass temporarily on file item number 71. That brings us to file item 72, AB 382 by Assemblymember Berman. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 382 by Assemblymember Berman, enacting to pedestrian safety.
Assemblymember Berman, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Traffic accidents are the leading cause of death for school-aged children in California. AB 382 would increase safety around schools by lowering the speed limit to 20 miles per hour in a school zone. The bill would also provide local jurisdictions with flexibility and additional time to implement the lower speed limit beginning in 2029. Respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Berman. All debate having ceased, the clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes, ayes 62, noes 0. The measure passes. We are going to go backwards one item. File item number 71, AB 378 by Assemblymember Valencia. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 378 by Assemblymember Valencia and others, enacting to education finance.
Mr. Harbidian. Assemblymember Valencia, you are recognized.
Mr. Harbidian, please sit down so the camera can see me. Thank you. Buenas tardes, Assembly members and Mr. Speaker. Hopefully everybody's having a good afternoon. AB 378 seeks to extend eligibility for participation in the Classified School Employees Summer Assistance Program to employees of Joint Powers Authorities. I'd like to add a little personal anecdote. My mother was a benefactor of this program for 29 years as a CSEA member, which allowed for us to have a summer with a salary. So with that, I respectfully ask for a yes vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Valencia. All debate having ceased, the clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes, ayes 54, noes 10. The measure passes. We're going to pass and retain on file item 73. Brings us to file item 74, AB 394 by Assemblymember Wilson. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 394 by Assemblymember Wilson and others, enacting to public transportation.
Assemblymember Wilson, you are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise today to present AB 394, a bill to protect frontline transit workers and the riders they serve. Transit workers, including operators, mechanics, station agents, and ambassadors, help millions get to where they need to go every single day. But far too many are being assaulted and harassed just for doing their jobs. AB 394 strengthens protections in 3 key ways. Extends enhanced penalties for battery to all frontline transit employees, not just the operators. Affirms that transit agencies and unions can seek temporary restraining orders on behalf of workers. And lastly, ensures courts can apply these orders system-wide to prevent repeat offenders from re-entering stations, vehicles, or facilities. Public transit is a shared space, but also a functional one. In order for it to function well, it must be safe. If anyone endangers others, they should not have the privilege of access. This bill passed both public safety and judiciary committees with bipartisan, unanimous support. Thank you, and I respectfully ask for your aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Wilson. All debate having ceased, clerk will open the roll. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. All those vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes, ayes 63, no 0. The measure passes. Brings us to file item 75, AB 395 by Assemblymember Gabriel. The clerk will read.
Assembly Bill 395 by Assemblymember Gabriel and others, enacting to holidays.
Assemblymember Gabriel, you are recognized.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker and members. I'm pleased today to present AB 395, bipartisan legislation which will require state agencies to make every reasonable effort to avoid scheduling public meetings on the same day as holidays celebrated by religious and cultural minorities for which their observance prevents them from working or participating. No one should have to choose between practicing their faith and engaging in their community. These changes will further the purpose and intent of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 by ensuring that religious and cultural minorities have equal access to our public institutions. It will also strengthen equal access to our public education system by directing universities and K-12 schools to make similar efforts to avoid scheduling graduation, the first day of class, and other academic milestones on these significant holidays. This bill is supported by a broad coalition of Jewish, Muslim, Hindu, Armenian, and Zoroastrian organizations, as well as labor unions representing teachers, school employees, and government workers. It has no opposition. Thank you, and respectfully request your aye vote.
Thank you, Assemblymember Gabriel. All debate having ceased, clerk will open the roll. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. All members vote who desire to vote. Clerk will close the roll, tally the votes. Ayes 66, no 0. The measure passes.